Welcome back to At Home with Chatty. My name is Chastity Richardson, affectionately known as Chatty, with Century 21 Redwood, a select real estate company. I help military families and homeowners 55 plus navigate selling and moving with clarity and calm. I am Northern Virginia local. I give honest guidance with no pressure. Questions are always welcome. You can message me at any time. Let's get started and get you set up for success. I talked about giving a class for home sellers to help you avoid costly seller pitfalls. So, today we're going to talk about avoiding those costly seller pitfalls. We do understand that there are factors in the market that we cannot change. However, there are areas that we can change, such as coming on the market ready to go and position for success. What I will focus on during this class is mistakes sellers make that cost thousands, how to position your home to sell as opposed to sitting on the market, and protecting your profits from hidden costs and poor timing. Let's jump into segment number one, hitting risk when selling. Let's first talk about the one that is probably the most obvious, overpricing your home. Let's talk about it. Metrics are important. Data points are important because they will help you make informed decisions. Home prices priced 5 to 10% above market value have a tendency to sit three times longer and ultimately sell for less. No one wants their house to sit on the market for a long period of time. As we'll learn later on, it causes our homes to be stigmatized. People start to think, what's wrong? Another fact to remember, the first 2 weeks on the market generate 50% of the total showing activity that you're going to have. So hitting the market ready to go is important because those first 2 weeks, that's probably when you're going to get your best offers. Let's move on to fact number three. Every 30 days, your house sits on the market. It reduces your negotiating power and attracts lowball offers. As much time, effort, and resources and money that we put into our homes, the last thing that we want to do is succeed and give up our home to someone that offered us a lowball offer. Lowball offers are not fair to receive from anyone, but if your home sits on the market for too long, it's going to sell for less than what you listed it for. And chances are you're going to have to entertain one of those lowball offers. Fact number four, overpriced listings become stale and buyers begin to wonder what is wrong with it. Think about when it was your time to shop, when you looked at homes and you go into a beautiful home and you're thinking, this house is beautiful. Why in the world would it still be on the market? Why wouldn't someone have snagged this house up already? That's the thought process. And that's those thoughts that buyers have when looking at homes that have been on the market for a long time. So it's important, again, to list your home appropriately. Be strategic. If you are planning to move to Florida or to California, you're getting transferred with the military, you are right sizing for your family, some transitions are happening. If you are purchasing a home in the next place and you have a contingent offer, the last thing you want to do is price your current home you're in that you are listing too high. Why? Because you're going to have to sit and wait on the market until a specific buyer comes to get your home and to put an offer on your home, as opposed to pricing your home strategically so that the listing price actually draws more offers from ready and willing buyers. Let's talk about the appraisals. We love our homes. We put a lot of, like I said, time, effort, resources into our homes. However, sometimes there's a disconnect between what we think the value of our home is and what the appraiser is going to say. And the fact of the matter is, the appraiser is the one that's going to dictate if the buyer can actually purchase the home. That bank is going to determine the appraisal price with their appraiser. And then if you actually list way higher, then they're going to come in and say, no, it's too high. You need to come down, or you can go back on the market, losing the contract that you have. And so you want to think about, definitely want to think about the comps that are inside of your neighborhood. Remember, comps are based on what happened in the last 6 months in a 1 mile radius. Those are the comps that the appraiser is going to look at. So make sure it's not emotional. So, price reductions, number six, price reductions signal desperation and invite even lower offers than if priced correctly. So keep that in mind. And it's not that price reductions don't have to happen. We do have to adjust. However, if the price is extremely high or just too high for the market, when it comes down and those reductions are seen, remember, everything is seen online. People are going to know, they're going to think that you're asking too much and they're going to offer less. Let's talk about, we talked about risk number one, overpricing your home. Risk number two, poor presentation and first impressions. This is spot on. 95% of buyers start their search online. Your photos make or break. Photos where things are not decluttered, where there's poor lighting, things like that, that the house is not clean. They can see your baseboards in the photos. They can see where the wood is starting to warp in areas. You really don't want to go on market when you're not ready. Unless you have plans and you understand that you are listing your house as is and you're not necessarily concerned, you're going to take the hit on your pricing, then you do what you need to do. But if you are trying to get top dollar for your home, I'm not saying over and exuberant, I'm saying market value. If you're trying to get that for your home, then you need to be ready when you get online. And so making sure your pictures are good is extremely important. Let's talk about clutter. Clutter is, we got, you see all these books behind me, they're beautiful, but I live in this house. I live in this house. But if it was time for me to move, I may want to remove all of that clutter because people don't want to see how you live in a house. They want to think about how they are going to live in a house, how this wall will be utilized maybe for something very different, maybe a home office or a play area. So if you've taken it up with the bookshelf, then that's something that they're going to imagine in their mind. You need them to imagine what it would look like for them to actually consider buying your home. Poorly lit homes appraised for lower. How about that? So you remember, we want to keep that value up when we list. So if we have a poorly lit home, light bulbs are missing, and I'll come and fix your light bulbs if I'm your listing agent and you're not around. I'll make sure your light bulbs are all there. But poorly lit homes appraised for lower, even when square footage is identical to comps. Keep that in mind. Number three, deferred maintenance signals problem property. And I know that sometimes these repairs can be expensive, especially in Nova and surrounding areas. But we have to make sure that we are market ready, again, unless we're doing as is or we're willing to give up a little bit of concessions for the problems that we see. Now, it may not be a huge problem to you, but for someone else, that's going to signal problem property, and it invites repair request. Let's talk about the next item. Buyers spend, number four, buyers spend on average of 15 seconds looking online at listings before scrolling past. So you have about 15 seconds, those first couple pictures that have to be great. So you don't want to skimp on the photos. They need to be great. And you've got 15 seconds to make a good impression. Point number five, curb appeal matters. That goes without saying. If someone pulls up to your house and your landscaping looks poor, they're going to start developing ideas about your home even before they get to the door. So, curb appeal matters. Homes with landscaping issues receive 20% fewer showing requests. So, again, these data points are going to help you understand what to address. The other thing, odors, pets, smoke, cooking. Remember those items. Number six, odors, pets, cooking, smoke. In some cases, the heat is turned off and it's so cold in the home that's vacant that you can't focus on seeing the home. You're focused on being too cold. And if a person is thinking about moving into a home and purchasing a home, you want them to feel comfortable. Uncomfortable is not the right feeling. So these things can't be captured in photos, but kill deals during showings. We can talk more about the risk. We have risk number three, emotional decision making, to talk about, but I'm going to stop right there. My name is Chastity Richardson with Century 21 Redwood, a select real estate company. I help military families and homeowners 55 plus navigate selling and moving with clarity and calm. I am Northern Virginia local. I am honest and I provide no pressure. Questions are always welcome. You can message me anytime at 571 689 7474. See you then.